Now, I know English isn't your first language, so I think it'd be easiest, we'll just go line by line and edit every mistake I see throughout the paper. So your spelling is off in a lot of spots. I mean, that needs to have 2 O's. You need to add an H here. This doesn't have a D. That's an A instead of an H. Also, I'm seeing a lot of subject-verb agreements. The IR, I mean, she have, I am, not IR. You need a semicolon here. Your paragraphs are wrong. I mean, awkward word order in a lot of these sentences. And what do you mean by out of mouth? Out of mouth, I mean, like, it's word of mouth. That's, you know, an idiom. Word of mouth is what you should, you know, be focusing on, not out of mouth. So here I'm just going to make a few corrections, and that should be good.
Okay.
Just
Thank you.
Make those edits.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, I'm seeing a few consistent errors. It may be helpful to set up an error log. Chris is going to explain what an error log is and how it's helpful for ESL students.
Okay, so instead of going line by line, it would be better for Dylan to find a few consistent errors and begin an error log, basically a journal for the ESL student to take home. The tutor sets up 4 columns with a list of errors, error category, description of the error, and a correction of the error. This is an important step towards teaching a student how to self-edit.
I noticed in the paper that you're having trouble with the word here. Longman's Dictionary of American English is a great resource for you to explore.
Longman's Dictionary is an example of what's called a learner's dictionary. Basically, it's a website that's an important resource for ESL students to use on their own. For this example, the ESL student would be able to look up the verb and see all the forms and tenses that he or she is struggling with.
I notice here that you use the expression out of mouth. Were you trying to say word of mouth?
Oh, I think so.
Word of mouth is a common idiom that's used in the English language. It's important to remember during the tutorial session that the tutor is always acting as a cultural informant. In this example, this idiom would not be known by a second language student. During the tutorial, we have to remember that idioms often don't translate. We also have to remember that we're coming from completely different cultures, so it's important to be extremely patient. Lastly, we need to remember that we can always learn from the other cultures during all of our writing sessions.